We will move on now. We have heard about great things people are doing in the community. Now we will hear from Mr. Ryan Murphy, who will help us see the great things, some more great things that are going on in our community with 7-1, an amphitheater programming update. Mr. Murphy, welcome.
Thank you very much
share
for
good
having
things
me.
with us.
Ryan Murphy, president of Huntsville Venue Group. Good to see you all, Mayor, City Council. So, all right. So tonight, I know a couple council meetings ago, there was a mention and a request to kind of look at some of the programming update and review. And as much as I'd like to reveal a bunch of the exciting concerts that we're booking, right now is not the time nor place to do so. But we do, I can assure you, we have some great stuff that's stacking up as far as the concerts and the programming that's happening. But tonight's meeting, I really want to focus on something that we pledged to do and committed to do to the city a long time ago, which was program for the community and to do a bunch of culturally diverse and community engaged programming. So I'll go a little bit through that. But again, it's always important for us to make sure we highlight our mission and our core values. Our mission is to become the cultural pillar within the local community by developing diverse year-round programming that's appealing to everyone within this rapidly growing North Alabama region. And we hit that with our core values. We care about diversity and developing local artists, elevating the people that are doing great things here, and is really enabling the spirit of Huntsville. And this is very important to us. It's going to be a thread and major pillar in everything we do. Again, we credit the city of Huntsville, the mayor, and everyone who's stepped up and chose us to carry out this endeavor because of the vision we have. And it's pretty incredible, and we thank you every chance we get. And we can't wait to prove what we're going to do. And so I'm a little sunburnt and weary because we've spent the whole day doing site visits out on site, and it's absolutely incredible. I love seeing this render, but being out there today, I mean, this render does no justice to what is being built out there. It's pretty incredible. And so anytime any city council or anyone wants to come for a tour, I encourage them to get in touch with us because it's pretty incredible what we're doing out there and what's being built. So again, we're excited. We're looking at May of 2022 to be the opening season, and we're barreling right towards it, and we're excited, and we know how we're piling this up. It's going to be exciting, diverse, engaging. I really feel like it's not just going to be your cookie cutter venue. There's going to be some really exciting stuff that's intentional, thoughtful, especially for the North Alabama region. I'm really excited to reveal that. In the next couple of months, I think we're looking at late October, early November. We're going to get to reveal some of these artists, which will be exciting. So we're still 8 months away, and to see the excitement for 2022, I mean, it's palpable. And it's pretty incredible considering what the music industry, what all of us have been through with COVID. But here we are. People are excited about 2022, and it's nice to be seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. So to see the artists we have coming in that excitement is just incredible. But again, for us, to build this facility and have those 30, 40 major concerts a year, that'd be fantastic. And I think that would move the needle and have economic impact and cultural impact on this community, and we'd feel great about it. But what we feel better about is a lot of this cultural and community programming. And that is something that I want to show you. Just basically, to me, my colleague Diana Markovitz, who's here, she's our community programming manager. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's great. The partnerships, the relationships, the organizations we've been meeting with, it's just for people to get what we're trying to do and get what we're trying to do for them and with them is pretty amazing. One of the things we talk about a lot is a farmer's market and a community night market. And this is something that we worked on in St. Augustine together that we felt really great about. The farmer's market's one thing. I think there's a real need to support a lot of the local farmers as well, as we see some of these farmers markets that are being built or that continue. It's a struggle to kind of keep a lot of these farms alive. So we've been doing a lot of outreach to local farmers, a lot of the agricultural corridor, and really trying to tie it in a really thoughtful way. That again, we turn that into a night market, and night market is more of a arts, crafts, culture, and we can have different kinds of artists playing, local artists, all kinds of stuff. It feels pretty amazing to be able to do that. Another thing we love that we're looking at is a ton of holiday markets, seasonal markets. You know, it's these seasonal festivals and holiday markets. It's going to touch every corner of Huntsville as far as, you know, we're looking at the demographic and what we can do. And it just feels like something that we'd be able to do in a way that's pretty significant, especially with that facility. One of the things we're really proud about that I know just got announced is the BLAST program that they're doing through the library. I'm blown away. I'm a huge fan of the library system. I always championed it in St. Johns County where I was a director, and every chance we could work with the library, we even did like a seed bank exchange program there in St. Johns County. Was phenomenal. But what the local library here is doing with this BLAST program to support local artists is phenomenal. So we jumped at the chance to help support that and to help highlight that in any way we can. And what we're dedicating ourselves to is making sure we're giving live showcases for all these local artists. And Diana had the idea that, you know, not only are we going to have these local showcases in parallel with this BLAST program at the amphitheater and at the park, but the great idea of having a mobile stage and going to some of the neighborhoods where these artists come from, no matter where they are, you know, in Huntsville and around in every district. I think that'd be a great way to highlight and really get the neighborhoods and the community behind it. And another piece, I mean, this is something that's really important to all of us. There's just, with everything going on, to be able to not only showcase the local artists and highlight the great talent here, but to put together these programs. I mean, there's people like Judy Allison here in town who does it phenomenal, and get to people like her and the people that are Mario Maitland and the people with Cody G, the people that are working on this professional development piece. It can never be understated. For us, that's creating a new workforce that's really helping, you know, really fine tune a lot of the local artists and give. This will also highlight film festivals, the extension of this, but we love doing documentaries that focus on music because of the nature of what we do, obviously. And we're also able to pull people in, whether it be like the Summer of Soul that just came out, that was a phenomenal documentary, this Muscle Shoals documentary, stuff like that. I mean, The Last Waltz. There's stuff that we can do, and we can bring in people, fly people in, do a Q&A. It's just a fun way to showcase. And again, this facility is being built flexible enough to be able to have film festivals and stuff like that. You know, we're always dedicated to doing back to school stuff. Again, working with children, supporting the school system, supporting the libraries, doing these school drives, doing these winter food and clothing drives. It's something that's near and dear to our hearts. All the local organizations, we're going to continue. Diana Markovitz is here with us tonight. And she is the one, she's a dynamo when it comes to making this outreach and kind of getting the community engaged. And so I have no doubt we can make a difference with this. And so any suggestions we're always going to take. But this facility, because of its size and its location, its flexibility and its adaptability and what we believe in, it's definitely meant to be a place where people can have events like this and make a difference. So we welcome that across the board. One thing that has been worked on for a while now is the North Alabama Pastors United for Change. They want to do United, a citywide worship experience, and this is something that, you know, is still in the works, but we're dedicated to doing in June of next year. It's just going to be a really amazing coming together of a lot of the churches in the area, and it's going to be a really significant event, and I'm really excited to see all the people behind it who, it's just a facility for an event like that for people. We always are focused on a lot of the sustainability and greening and eco work that we're doing. I mean, we have people that we're hiring that are specific to this, and we always want to move the needle. And when there is a need, we're going to run towards it. But a lot of that has to do with an education piece. There's a lot of great people doing great expos out there, a lot of great films coming out. We want to host those films, make them free to the public, help make these education programs free to the public, working with the city, working with the entities in the city, the green team, et cetera, just to really show how we can actually make a difference. A facility of this size creates a ton of waste on a daily basis, but especially when you have 8,000 people there to see a show. We're very mindful of that impact, and we're going to continue to highlight that and making sure we're doing the right thing. That's something near and dear to what we do. And that, I mean, to me, again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think it's one of those things where I in the community know that we're an open book and we're an open door. And if there's an idea, like whether it be working with local organizations, youth groups, choir groups, performing arts groups, we have the tools. And a lot of times there's a financial piece that prohibits people from doing the things they want to do. We can help figure that out. we can make those connections. Again, Diana Markovitz, who is here, as that community programming manager, we'll find the people that will underwrite. Like a lot of the stuff that I presented tonight, we've already found the people that are going to pay for those programs. That is not something that we're leaning on the city or ourselves. We have people that want to come in and do these great things. So that's what's nice. We collectively get to build this phenomenal facility, and these people get to make a difference by doing these things, and we're happy to host and manage those things. But again, to us, I mean, again, it's important to know this is an investment in the arts as a creative, economic, and community force. Those are three really important pieces that we don't neglect. We understand that, you know, we're given the directive of bringing great artists to Huntsville, maybe artists who have never been here before, world-class touring artists, and putting them in this beautiful facility. We will do that. We also know that we need to make sure the economics of this make sense, that we're helping pay off this facility, that we're making economic impact to the city. That's something, again, being from county government for the last decade, very mindful of paying attention to those things and explaining to that and educating the people that live here how that actually works. And then the community piece of it, it's just, I mean, we're here. This is a building in this community, and we want it to feel as such. We want it to feel like all these programs, and whatever we can grow by planting these seeds and these programs, whatever we can grow, however we can inspire. And I think there's so many amazing things that have already been built in Huntsville that have been limited by whether it be funding, whether it be exposure, whether it be support, any of those things. We're going to cast as wide of a net as possible and hopefully bring those people in and help them out across the way. I mean, that's what we're dedicated to. So again, it's just for us, what an amazing, rich past North Alabama has, Huntsville all the way to the Shoals. And we're here to really write that bold new future, and we're really excited about it. So that in a nutshell. And again, I know I would love to come here and present all the fabulous acts that you can go buy tickets for. But that moment will come, and we'll have a pretty big moment with that. And I guarantee you, I'm 99.999% sure everyone is going to be happy with what we're doing. And with that, I'm happy to take any questions or
Ryan,
comments.
thank you so much to you and Diana for the work that you are doing, and we look forward to seeing this all come together. Council members, do you have questions for Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Akridge?
What about the rain?
What about the rain?
Yeah. Hate to be a bummer, but
No, it's
talk
fine.
to us.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, there's always running an outdoor facility in Florida by the ocean for a while has really, I've weathered the storm, so to speak. And actually wasn't trying to be funny, but
I like it.
it's one of those things, you know, it's funny. I think, Kenny, you and I were talking about it today. We were standing up, Kenny got a tour of the facility today, and we were standing there, and it's obviously a beautiful day today. 2 days ago, it would have been a different story. But I said, you know, there's a percentage of events, whether they be concerts, community events, what have you. The concerts are hard because they either take totally canceling, postponing, refunding. It's a nightmare. I've been there. But on the other side of it, you know, there's the community events. We work tightly with the VBC. We'll be closely sharing calendars and working with them to make sure each of us have backup plans. Great relationship with the team over there, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. But the percentage of times that will happen over the time that this facility will be in existence compared to the times that you're underneath the stars seeing one of the most magical things that you've ever seen, whether it be a child graduate, whether it be an amazing play, whether it be a concert, whether you get engaged underneath the stars, whether it be this amazing lecture, you know, about space, or, you know, there's going to be these awe-inspiring moments that will outweigh that percentage of times where it's really going to bum someone out.
Thank you. I wanted to make sure that you had that opportunity to just address that directly, because we've talked about it
all the
before, but
time.
this is public revenue, right?
Yeah,
all
and
the
I
time.
think, I mean, to be honest, I've been pretty candid about it lately. I think there was a conversation happening a couple of years ago, like, why don't you just put a roof over this place or a big tent or something, you know, and then it's COVID kind of changed that conversation a little bit, where there is definitely, and I'm speaking from experience in the last couple months of actively booking this facility and the artists who are very much happy to play a big outdoor facility because it feels like the right play. So there's the magic, and then there's the practicality, and then of course there's going to be those times, and I'm going to be there with a rain jacket on and saying sorry to everyone because I've been there.
Well,
So-
and it won't be any different for the soccer games and the cross-country tournaments and the panoply and lots
Right.
of other outdoor events are also going to
We-
be impacted.
yeah,
It's
we-
just something you deal with.
Again, and I live up on Montesano. It was heartbreaking to see the arts festival this weekend get rained out. There's a lot of people that depend on it. So there's the financial piece that we always have to be mindful. We'll have as many contingency and backup plans as possible, whether that be the VBC and the other people we work with.
Ryan, you mentioned
questions?
showing the community that it's more than just the ticket sales to help pay for it. Do you track, is there a magic formula similar to the Sports Commission uses or the Visitors and Convention Bureau uses to illustrate any of that cycle of money going back into the community?
Yeah, I had a fantastic conversation with Kristen from the CVB recently, and this was something I always like referencing my past 10 years in St. Augustine because it's a very tourism-driven community, and there is very much a need to be constantly evaluating how many heads and beds, where did they fill their gas tank, where did they eat dinner, where did they buy their outfit. So we very much are mindful of that. And talking to the CVB, I actively would love for them to have ambassadors out at all the concerts, at the community events, talking to people about where are you from? Have you been here before? Did you eat dinner here?
Polls.
Kind of, yeah. And it's like, we can quantify and we can actually have that data. So it's not just anecdotal. There is something we can track a ton through ticket sales and through community, directly communicating with a lot of people that we're engaged with ticket sales wise, but there's events that will be free and you're going to have thousands of people into the ambassador programming and taking the survey info. It's a great way to really show that.
Okay. Well, your presentation has helped me. I fell into a trap just last night. Somebody talking about if we build a $4 million amphitheater, then we can do X. Well, I tried to justify it just by revenue. And thank you for the topic that you cannot put a number on, and that is the sense of community and the amphitheater being a force multiplier for some of the businesses that are already here. For example, the vintage record company in Low Mill that can then
Yeah, exactly.
their name's already on the map, but this helps them when they're doing their business and expanding their reach, and it also brings to light education. Karen Mockenstern of Fantasy Playhouse has research on it's in a blog, but I was just reading it last night. We can prove through research she talks about how the arts that you'll be highlighting, even at the amphitheater, helps people with their educational success and then
Sure.
on to leadership success. So I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that you are being very candid about trash. So,
Yeah.
some people might know that I've been in touch with Mr. Hamilton and with Doc Holliday, and just tapping them on the shoulders to say we need to look ahead, even on how we handle
Sure.
the trash removal and minimize the. Not only just by expanding and burning more, but also by reducing. So thank you for bringing that up and staying in touch with those people.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, as I mentioned, we'll be hiring someone specifically to oversee that, which will be phenomenal and help with these events on the education side, which is great.
Thank you. Sorry about some of the started with, but you can't have the sublime without the pedestrian. So
I got you.
thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Ms. Akridge. Are there any other comments, questions from Mr. Meredith?
Thank you. I want to thank you for addressing some of what I've been bragging on the amphitheater, and that is being that new creation of a sense of place for folks that aren't necessarily in the 5th District or any part of that mid-city area, that will over time have very fond memories of a child's graduation or other event that has happened there to create that sense of place within other parts of the city. So thank you very much for that. I don't know if you are at liberty to discuss, but if you are, could you tell the citizens some of those high-tech perks that I know will be awaiting them once they get a ticket and they enter your facility? And if you can't, I understand that.
As far as high-tech perks, as far as you think the operationally, how
Yes.
it will be? Well, yeah, I mean, it's more, working in development. But as far as, again, COVID changed the conversation over the last couple of years. A lot of stuff is going touchless. A lot of stuff is going paperless and seamlessly, whether that be security or how you communicate with people, how you can order food or a T-shirt, or how you find your seat, or how you park your car. So we're actually getting the best of the best to help develop that with us, and that's all forthcoming. So
Sure.
details forthcoming.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, of course.
Mr. Kling, any comments?
Let me just say thank you for your great community outreach.
Of course. Thank you.
And I'll ask a final question. I remember one of the things in one of the first presentations you did regarding programming, you said that you would only, the goal was to be 3 days dark. Is that still the goal? Will we get there?
Oh, whoa. Yeah, the only 3 days it rains next year. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we that is a big part of what we're going to do. In all seriousness, that's why the community program, that's why I say this is the tip of the iceberg. I think between a lot of the educational pieces, a lot of the programming we're doing, having a blast artist, showcase once a week, even along with the night markets. And so absolutely. And one thing I'd like to point out is someone the other day, I've been asked this a couple times, like, what is going to be the greatest success when you get, Bruce Springsteen, or, when you get, what will be the greatest success? How will you know this is successful? And I said, I measured it before in a way that I want to measure it here, which is several people, many people, thousands of people in the community come, I love the Amphitheater, but I've never seen a concert there. I go there all the time, but I've never seen a concert there. That's like music to my ears. That is the coolest thing to hear, because it's like, yeah, that's the point. That's a huge advocate in the community.
And I'm really sorry Mr. Keith is not here tonight, because he's the one that has really helped us all, raised our sights to that vision of a real diversity of programming and diversity of uses.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Councilman Keith, for leading that charge, and Mr. Murphy, thank you for accepting the challenge of putting all of
Gladly.
this together for us. It's going to be stunning.
I'm grateful.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Right.
Anybody else? All right, we will move on then to, we have no matters with outside legal representation.